I'm Scott Buckmaster. If you want to, you can call me Buck. I am an artist, a decoy carver, cemetery sexton. I have a lot of different hats that I wear. But right now, what I'm going over today, this is going to be the second in my series about making Cadillac style decoys. Today I'm hoping to go over some of the resources that you can kind of go after, some of the people you can look into some of their work, just kind of the steps that you would want to take to start kind of immersing yourself in what it is to be a decoy maker and how that entire group works. Just being able to approach those people and ask them questions. That type of information is what I'm going to try to impart on you today. So if you will, join me, and I'm going to be sharing some more information with you. Books are one of the best resources that you can find. A lot of the information that you're going to be looking for is going to be on older materials. This folk art has been around for a very, very long time, eons. This particular book right here I have found to be a wonderful resource since I've started my little journey with carving. This was done by Ronald J. Fritz. And what it does is it goes through and just gives a really nice kind of overview of Oscar Peterson's work. And you're going to find that this book on the secondary market is going to be fairly expensive, but I really, really recommend, if you do not purchase one, if you can find somebody that has one in your area, reach out to them and see if you can sit down with it for a day and just take a look at it, read through it, learn a little bit about Oscar, learn a little bit of how he was making his decoys, because this is all about Cadillac style decoys. And a lot of them, when you talk Cadillac style, you're talking about the double cavities for it. You're talking about this Cadillac curve that you get. And you see it in most, if not all, Cadillac style decoys. You have that wooden tail. The eyes typically for the older ones for Oscars, they were going to either be imprinted wood, or they were going to be some type of attack, or potentially glass eyes, from wherever he might be able to find glass eyes. He also was quite the folk artist as far as some of his placards that he did. Many of his placards will sell for $100,000 plus. His fish, I think the last one that I heard that really went for something, it was like 2-3 years ago, it went for about 42 grand. So just as a resource though, this is kind of ground zero for a lot of decoy makers here in Michigan. Oscar Peterson is, he can be found in the Smithsonian Institute, but as a resource, this book is really quite just impressive as far as being a resource for people that are starting to carve. This particular carver, his name is Anthony Hillman. He actually does a number of these books. And I found this book in a resale shop for books, Book Nook here in Cadillac, Michigan. But what you're going to find with this is it's nice because his books they come apart. They give you actual patterns if you wanted to use them. If you're getting started. It explains about the cavities, how the lead cavities work. It gives you all these different views of the actual fish so that you can kind of know what the fish is supposed to look like, how it's supposed to go. But he does a very nice job of kind of laying out what it is for the fish as far as how it's supposed to look. Goes over all the different parts that actually go through it. And I recommend, if you can find information, things that will help you to do this endeavor, I suggest it. You need to go through and find things that are going to work for you, though, too. So if you see something and you're like, that's not going to work for me, I need to do that differently, by all means do. But this was a great resource for me when I was first getting started, just to kind of figure out how things actually work. So if you can find one of these, you can typically find them online somewhere. It's worth having this book just kind of as a guide for you on what to do and how to do it. This book, if you're interested in this one, there is a husband and wife team, Fred and Joanne Campbell. They are part of Benzie Joe Decoys. I've been fortunate to meet them and actually see their work. They do just phenomenal job of the work. Fred does the carving and the bodybuilding, and Joanne does the painting of the fish. But here's actually their information if you wanted their information. If you go through their book, they have a lot of just step-by-step how to actually, amass the materials that you need. They have patterns for the fish. They have examples of the fish that they've done. And it's a beautifully done book. There's a lot of good information in it. They do some things that I don't do, and I haven't done. But again, this is an art of going through and finding things that work for you. So you might find just a suggestion, whatever it may be, a different type of metal to use for the fins, or maybe a different wire that you might be able to use, or a different way of making the hooks, or the line ties for hooking the fish up to your jig stick. Just those things. But they do a wonderful job of just kind of going through step by step how to actually make a functional decoy. So if you want to, I'm pretty sure you can contact them and get a book, or get your name on a list for the next time that they make a printing of it. Beautifully done book, and nice people, and just beautiful work. Absolutely beautiful work. This particular book, I've grown to love. There's a lot of information in it. This was actually another carver. His name was Dave Kober. He's a wonderful carver as well. But this was his book, and he sold it to me a few years ago. But it just has some wonderful examples of fish. Hans Johner from Mount Clemens is another one of the ones that I kind of look to, and I see his work, and I'm very very impressed with what he did and what he does as an artist. But this work's like from the 1920s, but just beautiful work. Seeing things like this kind of inspires me, where I see things and like that's used metal from something, and you can see, like, it says Detroit, so it's like some kind of a piece of metal for a truck out of Detroit. So it's just very very interesting how these are made. But if you go through books like this, you can find inspiration, or you can find ideas, or you can get nudged in one way or another into trying something different, and that's okay. These are all more Oscar Petersons. There's quite a few of them in this book as well. But again, like I had said, Oscar Peterson's kind of the preeminent decoy folk artist. Oscar Peterson made a lot of different vases and stuff, so it wasn't just carvings of decoys. But his work, just absolutely phenomenal. So, if you can find books that deal with decoy carving, you're going to be ahead of the game. You're going to be looking to the past to bring this to the future. So this is another great book. I really appreciate a great deal, and I like thumbing through it every once in a while when I want to get some ideas. I want to actually try to make a tribute of a Johnner tribute from the guy from Mount Clemens. But anyway, this is another good one. This gentleman right here, his name is Sonny Bayshore. Sonny is a retired officer, DNR officer. He currently lives in Ohio. He is, as far as living carving artists go, I think that he's probably, he's the top echelon. He's an amazing gentleman. I've had the opportunity and the honor to sit and chat with him a couple times. He's given me tricks for doing scrimshaw on ivory, not ivory, excuse me, bone, and for doing carvings, that kind of thing. I don't have any of his decoys as of yet. I'm sure I will at some point. But this book is something that you may be able to reach out and see if you can find a copy of. They're fairly rare. But just for being inspired by him, these carvings that he has done, the decorative carvings, are just absolutely amazing. And they're decoys too. A lot of these ones, they have these decorative carvings, but then you're able to remove it and actually use it as a decoy. So his work is just phenomenal, no matter what it is that he has been doing. I love his jig sticks. That's one of the things that he is known for, is his jigging sticks. But as a person to look for and to look up to, he is a living legend. He's an absolutely amazing gentleman. I actually have one of his knives that he has made. He made the entire thing. He did all the carving work and all the work on the antler. But just amazing artist, amazing eye, amazing attention to detail, and just heck of a person. So he's really somebody that you should kind of search out and look for his information, examples of his work. He's a person that, you want to try to look at and just be appreciative of what he can do. I like to spend a great deal of time at antique stores, just kind of going through and seeing what they might have in the way of decoy work or fishing work or knives, knife books, those kinds of things, the things that interest me. And I've come across some that, they're, again, this is a little bit of an older art practice. So what you're going to find is a lot of the information, you're going to be finding it in books. I happened to find this book I found on one of my outings with my dear friend Scott Benson. But this is a nice one for this Thompson's Guide to Freshwater Fish. It has a lot of nice information about the fish, and then toward the middle, it actually has some examples of some of the patterning that you're going to find on fish, which kind of it helps. It helps to have all these little references to maybe get an idea of how you might be able to do the scale pattern on something once you get into the point where you're starting to put details like that on it, and not just doing what would be referred to as a smoothie. You start doing the actual wood burning and putting all the finer, minute details onto these. you're going to find that it's just a real nice reference book, something like this. But all these reference books that I got, I'm finding them in these older bookstores, resale shops, antique stores, and I'm able to go through and kind of figure out how to do different tricks of making, the fish look the way that I want them to, or to make them appear more lifelike. So, just a great reference book. Any reference book that you find, look through it quickly, see if there's something you think that might help you, and don't be afraid to buy it, because you're not quite sure down the road if it's not something that you're going to be able to use. This is another one, Archie and Bubba Phillips Fish Painting and Identification Manual. This was also a good one. So those are some of the books that I kind of recommend, or people, for that matter, to search out and just kind of look at some of their work. Use the resources that you have available. This particular group of fish right here is a group of Cadillac Style decoys. These decoys are made by Cadillac artists, and I'll show them to you real quick. And again, I'm going over resources with these, and these are resources. Finding someone else's work and looking at it and just kind of figuring out what they did or how they did it, or if these people are still with you, have the bravery, I guess it might be, I'm not sure, to ask those people, what did you do? How did you do it? What might I be able to do? This first one I'm going to share with you, this is actually one done by Al Nelson. Al is known for his Cadillac Style decoys. He too is a living legend. The guy he's a gem. But you can see on he's got these two lead cavities, and just the body shape and the way that these things are laid out are very much Cadillac style. You even have the little mustache that I've mentioned in my lives, and that you can find on an Oscar Peterson fish. But his work is highly sought after. So Al just does wonderful work. But he's a contemporary of Oscar Peterson. He actually knew Oscar, as did his family and his brothers. Being able to hold something like this in your hand, and you can feel the weight of it, and you can understand the aerodynamics of it, and how it's going to swim in the water, and what it's going to do, and how that fish is going to come at it. It's nice to have those kind of resources, those kind of that information, that hands-on information that a lot of people want. This one right here was made by Jim Nelson. Jim was Alfred's brother. I really enjoy his decoy making, and almost more his painting. His painting is very folk art. You have a fish body, but you've got it painted like a frog, and that's okay. And just to have that kind of creativity in this sport, and in this art, it's impressive to see. But again, I can make out, we've got the two different chambers. This is an 8-inch trout frog by Jim Nelson. So I really like this one. This particular one right here was done by actually the gentleman that first taught me how to carve. It is Alfred Williams. Alfred is a very down-to-earth guy. I really appreciate him and just enjoyed chatting with him. You can see again his two chambers for the lead cavities. But just another great decoy. This is a good working decoy. And this last one that I'm showing you here, this is a Jim Anderson. This fish, classic, kind of a classic sucker pattern, especially with the red head and having touches of red along the body and such. You're going to find that on a lot of decoys as you start doing this. And you may say, oh, that's simple. It's not really hard. Well, the thing is that these fish are not necessarily, as much as they are, they don't need to be realistic to get the pike to strike. A pike, more likely than not, will come in and hammer this one over one that's painted real. So the thing is that, you get these fish, you can look at them, figure out what they were doing, see how it is. A lot of times, the artists, I know I do it, I will number it. Al's wife, Gail, she is an excellent resource if anyone is ever wondering any questions about anything decoy related. I would reach out to Gail. But numbering your fish when you're starting off, I highly suggest it. She suggested it to me. I actually have a running catalog of my work. I know who purchased it. I know which number they have. I've got a picture of the fish. And it's just kind of interesting to see. And just this year, I started seeing some of my fish showing up on the secondary market. So that's kind of exciting too when they start taking on a life of their own. But Jim does just beautiful work as well. Very impressed. He also does some, if you look into him, he does some beautiful larger scale work. This one right here also, this one is a Bob Weesey. This is a walleye that he did. Again, he numbers all of his stuff. And everybody's got just a little bit of a different take on how to carve. But I really like the flared gills on this one. So very, very interesting. And these are tack eyes. But just a beautiful way of presenting a walleye decoy, spearing decoy. This is one of the first artists outside of the little group that I was in and carving with. His name was Leonard Nelson. I guess his nickname was Sven. But I really appreciated his work as far as it looking like Oscar Peterson work. So he had real fun takes on his artwork. And I have, I think, 5 or 6 of his. But this is one of his little suckers. And I mean, you can see, this is one I've done, and you can see the similarities in them, and that's okay. I'm looking to the past to bring this to the future. When I'm out and about, I like to find, I'm always looking for decoys. I'm looking at different techniques that people are using for doing fins or possibly the texturing on bodies. This gentleman, his name is Rick Whittier. He's out of North Dakota. But I happen to have stumbled across at a antique shop downstate kind of a collection of his work. So I ended up purchasing 4 of his pieces, and they're just beautiful, beautifully rendered, wonderfully carved. The fit and finish on these things they're beautiful. So just really, really impressed with his work as far as how he did things. So very, very, very good gentleman. This particular gentleman, his name is Al Reig. Al's one of the people that started the Great Lakes Fishing Decoy Association, and he helps to put on the World Championships for decoy carving every year. But he just does a beautiful job, just very, very solid work, just beautiful painting on all of his stuff that he ever does. And it's nice to kind of feel the weight of this frog that he did. You can kind of see, again, you're using these things as resources. You see, how he has curved the legs, and he's curved these little fins in the back to actually allow for this to swim in a circle. So this frog, working frog, this thing's great. But to actually be able to hold on to some of these, it is really it's an honor to actually know some of these people, but, you got to be willing to kind of seek out these resources and don't be afraid to sit down and chat with them a little bit. This right here, this is by a gentleman that I've met through carving. His name's Jesse Gould. Jesse, he actually made this for me, and I really appreciate this piece. But as a resource, just kind of showing how this works and how you pass on information, I had found these Posca markers, paint markers that I'd started using. And he started using them because I was using them, and he was seeing the work I was doing just in pictures. And he actually, he tried it, and well, darn if he didn't do just an absolutely beautiful job, So very talented decoy carver, and I look forward to, getting to know him better over the years, and, building one of those kind of relationships that people that are contemporaries of one another, they can share information and they can learn. So that's the whole thing with this. You need to find resources. You need to understand that it's okay to ask for help. You need to be willing to step outside your comfort zone and chat with some of these people. Find the books, find the information. Online, there's fishing decoy references there. There's material. There's a site called Decoypedia. That is a wonderful resource. Just a lot of different things, kind of explaining some of the signatures that are on some of the older pieces, and just examples of everyone's work and examples of the actual carvers. Who's carving, who's still carving, who carved. So just you need to seek out these resources. Thanks again for joining me for the second part of my series. I just wanted to kind of reiterate, this one was about resources, and there is a ton of resources out there. Please, if you get an opportunity, subscribe to this YouTube channel. This is a resource. I'm going to be going over kind of a step-by-step of how to actually make these, where to get the materials, how to actually carve them. And if you don't feel like kind of sitting through those and like a little bit more hands-on, Tuesday nights from 6 to 7 on my YouTube channel, as well as a Zoom meeting that I host. I actually am carving in front of people. So if you want to join that, feel free to friend me on Facebook. And once you do that, I typically have the information pinned on the top of my actual my Facebook page. So please come on out and join me, and we will be carving. I'm carving this. I kind of just go through, give suggestions, make the carving happen, basically. But if you want to join me, that will be going on Tuesdays from 6 to 7. I got that time set aside. Other than that, if you ever have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. You can either text me, you can call me if you want. You can get in touch with me either on Facebook or make comments on videos, and I'll try to get back to you and see if I can't help you out or not. And if you have any suggestions of things that you would like to see or things that you're wondering, please don't hesitate to reach out and ask those questions too, because I want to try to be as accessible and transparent for people as I can. So again, thank you very much for coming and joining me and for taking a peek at this. And I hope you have a good time carving.